And the first report was from the Communities, Environment and Highways Select Committee, who scrutinised the procurement of the Highways Term Maintenance Contract and indeed the policy on the use of safety cameras in Surrey. So I think we have got with us John O'Reilly, who's the chairman of that select committee. John, do you want to deal with those separately, and if you just deal with the contract first?
With your permission, Chairman, I'll do them both together, and I won't have too much to say. Before I comment on those two items, there, if I beg your indulgence to thank and to compliment Matt Furness for his very rigorous and vigorous and powerful response to the South Western Railway consultation. I say this because the Select Committee itself considered this in some detail, and the response that Matt forwarded to South Western Railways contained everything that we had suggested and recommended. And so it's a good example, one of the increasing examples, where a Select Committee and the portfolio holder work in tandem to deliver a very strong response on behalf of our residents. So I thought I'd just give that gratuitous compliment before I start on to the main items. So on the highways procurement, again, I thank the portfolio holder very much indeed for the responses that he has provided. Again, I think the committee and he are at one on pretty well all the issues that are mentioned in, first of all, our recommendations and B, his responses. I'm particularly, reassured about paragraph 1 about the commitment for over the weeks ahead and months ahead to our residents to see the specific improvements that they all hope for and we all hope for to take place as the contract matures. I would just say one thing that Matt Furness himself rightly at the Select Committee said, well, yes, it's all very well having a new contract, but the amount the council itself spends in capital programme on highways is actually a far more important determinant, or just as important determinant as the performance of the contractor itself. And you'll not be surprised that when we move into budget scrutiny mode in a few weeks' time, the committee, along with the portfolio holder, will be scrutinising very much the proposals for next year and the years beyond for capital spending on the highways programme, and doubtless will make feedback to the cabinet and then to the council. But on the whole, I think the response that was given on that item was most satisfactory, as indeed it has been on the improving engagement with residents and members. I'm very pleased and gratified, again, I'm sure the committee is, that the reference group that worked so closely, particularly with Lucy and Paul for the last 2 years, will continue, and I hope be able to provide a constructive input as the contract matures over the months and years ahead. So I think that's all I need to say on that item. Apart from reiterating my thanks and appreciation, and the committee's thanks and appreciation for the very cooperative manner in which this item has been handled. And on the speed cameras, again, I don't really have much to add apart from, again, to thank Matt for a very considered and constructive response, and really only to reinforce, I think, all of us, that particularly the cameras that are possible for community concern sites, it really is in the reality of it, and I'm not going to get into operational matters, obviously, that I think there will be an expectation amongst probably my residents and everybody sitting around your table, your residents too, that the change of policy may well lead to more, speed cameras funded by local funding or the members' allocation or however for these sites of community concern. And it would be a shame in the actuality, notwithstanding the natural provisions and constraints, that expectations for residents for speed cameras might be unduly in the practice be circumscribed. That would be a shame, but that's looking ahead for the future. The policy itself is sound. The committee commends it, and Matt's responses only reinforce our commitment to that. So I think that's all I need to say, Chairman, on both the reports that the committee provided to you.
Thank you very much, John. I don't know if Matt wants to say anything, but just in relation to the speed cameras, I think it's you know, helpful perhaps to just point out that this was an initiative of the county council. It was we who approached the police specifically to widen the criteria. So, you know, it has the full support of this council, and indeed, of course, there will, you know, we will need to find a funding mechanism. But you know, we will work with you know, with residents and with local councils to achieve that. But it's very much something that we, you know, we are firmly behind in terms of speed control, congestion alleviation, and air quality improvement. Matt, did you want to pick up anything?
Nothing in particular. It was really just to reciprocate my thanks, because the committee works very diligently, and I think come up with excellent recommendations. So long may it continue. Indeed,
and I also would add the thanks of the Cabinet to you, John, and your committee for, as ever, the constructive approach that you've taken, and you know, it's good. The system is working. I think the members have a good opportunity to look at these significant contracts and policies before they become written in stone. So thank you very much for that.